Hi, this is Dave from Geekanoids.co.uk and this is my continued coverage of the mid-2009 Apple MacBook Pro. This is the 15-inch version. I'm going to take you for a tour around the ports and the styling of the laptop. This is the front edge of the laptop. It's a very elegant design, as you can see. There is a cutout here which just purely provides you with a lip to enable you to lift up the screen. It provides easy access to that magnetic latch, which then closes the screen down very nicely. Further along this front edge, you can't see it clearly here, but there is an LED light located roughly here, and this pulsates when your laptop's in sleep mode. This is the infrared receiver, and this is used with the Apple remote control, which unfortunately isn't supplied with the laptop. Moving round to the right hand side of the machine, here we have a cutout for a Kensington lock. This enables you to buy a security device to tether your Mac to perhaps a desk so that it can't be stolen so easily. Then we have the SuperDrive slot. The SuperDrive will write to CDs or DVDs, but there isn't any Blu-ray support in the current MacBook Pro lineup. Moving round to the back of the machine, we just simply have the black hinge for the screen. And then round to the left hand side of the laptop, which is where all the action takes place. Now, just running through these ports from left to right, we have the MagSafe connector, which is where you connect your power supply for either running the laptop off of mains power or for recharging the built-in battery. The next one along is the Ethernet port, which is used to wire your laptop to an Ethernet network, and this supports up to gigabit speeds. Next one along is a FireWire 800 port. This is very useful for connecting things like FireWire camcorders or for high-speed hard disks. Then we have the mini DisplayPort connector. This is a fairly new connection and it's something that Apple are quite heavily pushing, and it's supported by their new Apple 24-inch cinema display. Then we have two USB 2 ports, and then this slot here is new to the mid-2009 MacBook Pro. This is an SD card reader. It previously was an express card slot, but Apple decided to replace it by what is one of the most popular memory card formats for digital cameras. Then we have an audio input jack, and then we have an audio output jack where you can connect something like a pair of headphones. Last but not least, on this front edge of the left hand side, we have a little button and some LEDs. If we push the button, the LEDs light up to show how much charge is left in the battery. Now, before I move into showing you the inside of the laptop and the keyboard and screen, I just wanted to show you the underside. This mid-2009 model of the MacBook Pro, Apple have changed the way they design it. In previous versions, you could flick a switch and gain access to at least the battery so that you could swap it out for another one. In some of their laptops previously, you could also easily gain access to the hard drive and memory. Well, not so with this one. They've completely sealed the unit. As you can see, there are still screws around the outside of this base plate, so you can, as an owner, still remove the base plate and you can purchase different memory and a different hard drive and swap this out yourself. The only non-user accessible part that you shouldn't replace yourself is the battery. Apple developed some new battery technology to give an even better battery life in this latest version of the MacBook Pro. They're claiming that you get up to a 7-hour use from a single charge, and you should get 1,000 charge cycles before you need to replace the battery. Apple will then offer you a service where they replace the battery for you at a very reasonable cost. So I just wanted to mention to you that if you're planning on taking this out and about, you can't easily swap out another battery if your internal one runs out. There is a company called Hypermac that do actually manufacture an external battery that connects via the MagSafe connector located on the left hand side of the laptop. I will be bringing you a review of the Hypermac battery within the next few weeks. This is the main work area of the Apple MacBook Pro. We've got a very large trackpad, no visible buttons, and the whole trackpad actually acts as your button. You can also assign various multi-touch gestures to the trackpad for rotating, pinching and zooming, even performing a secondary click by clicking in this lower right hand corner. We have a nice large wrist area here for resting your wrist while using the keyboard, and the keyboard is a very nice chiclet style design. It's very evenly spaced and has a nice positive feedback to it. These keys are also backlit, so when you're working in poorly lit conditions you can still visibly see which keys you're pressing. To each side of the keyboard this is flanked by 2 speakers. These are very good quality for a laptop and much better than the standard speakers you would come to expect from such a machine. In the top right hand corner of this base you also get a power on off button. So this is the 15-inch glossy display on the Apple MacBook Pro. It runs at 1440 by 900 pixel resolution and is LED backlit, and it produces very vivid colours. It's very evenly lit and is perfect for video and multimedia work. A lot of people worry about the reflections, and I've purposely positioned my camcorder in front of the display so that you can see the sort of reflections that you get. This is now at full brightness, and if I turn the brightness down to maybe just under halfway, you can certainly see the reflections of both myself and the camcorder. However, if you're using this outside in direct sunlight, it can be a problem, but you can always adjust the angle of the display and you can always position yourself so it doesn't really affect your work. It's worth mentioning that on the Apple Store they have now introduced a matte option to the 15-inch MacBook Pro. It costs around about £30. The main difference is that you don't get this black bezel around the outside. Instead you get a silver bezel, and then the matte display is slightly inset into that bezel, much like the PowerBooks and MacBooks Pros that we've been used to previously. Also, just to mention, there is also an iSight camera located at the top of the screen for video conferencing and recording. Now, when selecting what MacBook Pro you order, you do get a choice of different graphic performance. If you order lower down the range, then you get an NVIDIA 9400M graphics card built into the laptop, and this has 256 megabytes of shared memory. On this particular MacBook Pro, this was a mid-range option, and in here you get the NVIDIA GeForce 9400M, and you can just use this graphics card by selecting better battery life within the energy saver preference panel. Spending a little bit more money also gets you an NVIDIA GeForce 9600M GT graphics card, which has 256 megabytes of dedicated graphics memory too. To use this higher performance card, you go into the same energy saver preference panel and select higher performance. Selecting this does require you to log out of your running session on macOS 10 and then log back in, and then you will experience the better graphics GPU performance. It's certainly worth spending a little bit extra if you can, but saying that, the lower range MacBook Pros do perform adequately for day-to-day tasks. I would only choose the option of the NVIDIA GeForce 9600M GT if you were doing lots of graphic intensive work or maybe video work. I will be bringing you another video to give you my full review and impressions of this mid-range, mid-2009 MacBook Pro. I just wanted to leave you showing you how elegant the design is and the action of the screen. The hinge is very fluid, and it's the build quality and this sort of attention to detail that Apple really do well. Well, thank you very much for listening. This has been Dave from Geekanoids.co.uk. Come back soon and check out more video reviews. This video review is sponsored by EasyDraw, making drawing fun on Mac OS X.